What's going on YouTube? This is Dre the Plug coming at you live with some more technical heat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you guys can stay up to date every single time I drop new technical heat. Hit that bell so you guys can stay notified. And let's get into the video, man. Let's get into some more technical heat. Okay, so in this video, right, I want to actually explain to the people how to go about growing your resume extremely fast. If you're a tech major or even if you're an engineer, if you really just want to get that experience on your resume as fast as possible without actually having to go to a company in some cases, this is basically what you have to do. So why would you want to have a stacked resume, right? Why would you want to even build a resume extremely fast? But if you want to jump into the tech field, or even if you want to jump into the engineering field, like what's the whole point of having a stacked resume, right? So for one, it goes back to actually talking to a recruiter and in the end, getting that full-time offer for that dream company that you want to get into. 9 times out of 10, all the recruiters are going to hit the same story. I'm an engineer. I'm passionate about doing X, Y, and Z. I like projects like this that's related to the company, of course. But what really separates you from everybody that's going to put their application is projects that you're going to do and projects that you can actually sit there and explain to the recruiter about. So when you talk to a recruiter, you got to keep this in mind. You are basically a blank sheet of paper. They don't know anything that you've done or any projects that you've completed until you tell them. No matter how simple you may think that the project is or how difficult you may think that the project is. One time I remember I was talking to one of my friends and he was explaining to me how he wanted to build his resume up, and he was asking me, what type of projects have you done, or what can I add to my resume to build it? And I simply just asked him, what type of projects have you ever built throughout your whole entire career of being like an engineer? And some of the projects he was telling me, I'm like, man, you could easily use this on your resume. But he's like, nah, that's too simple of a project. This is basically the project, right? This is basically the project that he did, and he didn't feel like it was good enough to even be put on his resume. And I'm like, dude, this is an amazing project to explain to a recruiter from start to finish. So yeah, I basically explained to him dude, there's so many engineers that graduate and they don't really have any project, and you telling me you made this and you know how to control and make the LEDs glow in certain directions in the form of a cube. This is something that you could definitely explain to a recruiter and he'll definitely feel impressed, especially with the explanation. How many people are walking around saying that they know how to build this from scratch? And in most cases, it's not even about the project that you do or the type of project. They just more so want to hear, can you explain a technical project from start to finish to the point that they know for a fact you legit created this, and it's not something where you're like, oh, I made this laptop, or I made this TV, and then when they ask you, can you explain to me what you actually did to actually put this together, how you created it, you kind of look like a deer in headlights. Because in most cases, if you can't explain what you created, they'll easily kind of get a telltale sign on what type of employee you will be. So my best advice to when it comes down to actually growing your resume fast, really quick, filling the whole page up, is to think all the way back to even if you was in high school, of different type of technical projects that you ever created or made or followed along with throughout a process with a group when you was on a team group inside of maybe a technical class, or even something that you did at home. Any type of technical projects you ever did at your house in the comfort of your home. That's one of the best things about being a tech major, an engineer in some cases, that you could literally build your own resume from home. So literally knock out any single thing that you can think of, write it down, and list it and add it all to your resume. Add value to when you actually go to a recruiter and y'all have that one-on-one and he asks you to explain any type of project that you have done. You can easily explain it based off all the different things that you've done. So that's one way. Just note any technical thing that you've ever done, because I guarantee you it's some stuff that some high school student is doing right now that some college students, they've never built. They may never ever go about even creating this. So that's the best thing about the tech industry. It's just so broad to the point that you can't create it all. Every year engineers graduate, and you'll be surprised just how many that talk to recruiters that have absolutely nothing to talk about as far as projects that they created or legit stuff that they've done outside of school. In most cases, if you don't really have a legit project that you can explain, Like a recruiter won't even take you serious as far as giving you a technical role. Are there engineers that actually jump into, taking a business route to the point that when you get into the workplace, you don't do anything tech related at all or anything engineering? Yeah, 100%. But I mean, in most cases, if you're an electrical engineer, most jobs will expect you to have some type of, technical background, or even to understand how to explain projects anyways, because no matter how business oriented you even get into some engineering roles, you'll still kind of have to have some type of form of tech background in some capacity. So now that you know to add any technical project that you've ever done, now that you know that you actually stand out based on any project that you do. Also, if you've done anything related to coding in any form of fashion, even if it's just some type of basic app where you had code like a certain section of a phone or something like that, related to like iPhones, or basically doing things as far as Galaxy and like troubleshooting and changing up the settings, any form of coding, you can also add that onto your resume if you want to. It's still a form of technically a technical project. So let's say now you're pretty much like, Dre, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get what you're saying, but I don't have any projects. I literally haven't did anything. And I want to start actually working on project. I want to get into electronics way more than what I've been doing. Like, I want to actually upgrade my skills, right? So there's a whole lot of Arduino projects out there. There's a whole bunch of Raspberry Pi projects out there. You can literally create anything with these two microcontrollers and add it to your resume. You can literally buy like electronic kits and make different type of projects with it. You can literally buy a Raspberry Pi type of kits and do stuff with the internet, code different scripts and stuff that run in the background on your computer that's technically your Raspberry Pi. It's all type of different technical things that you can literally buy and then add to your resume. I mean, look at all of the projects that I have on this channel right now. If you want to, you can literally take any project that I basically have already did, take the code, add it into whatever project you want to make. For example, this chair I'm sitting in, right? I could easily, throw a sensor on it. I could easily throw like LEDs on it, put a mic on it, and boom, I already just created a project that probably nobody have, where it have all three of those things on a chair. I just gave you a quick example of a project right there. So that's a prime example of what I'm talking about as far as, just like literally creating your whole resume from home, building your own resume from the comfort of your crib. And one thing like about our field, about tech majors, about certain type of engineers, we can literally build our whole resume up from start to finish without even working for a company. That's the beauty of being into tech. That's why tech interviews are so strict these days, because they're just like, you could go to school, you could learn X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, like, it's things that you can literally teach yourself. Like, you literally don't need a degree to go into some type of coding jobs. Like I was mentioning before, as far as Google, they get into the point to where they don't even care about people with degrees. They have programs that they're working on right now that don't even require you to have a degree, because people are starting to understand, like, it's people who really, really, really are in a position of being extremely skillful at certain things tech related, because they literally taught themselves from home, taught themselves through a laptop. It's not like petroleum engineer where it's like, we would love for you to have that, oil and gas experience, or civil engineer where you actually have been in the field working and you have legit experience that way. In the tech world, you can literally build anything from the comfort of your home and put that on your resume, impress any recruiter. So you gotta always keep stuff like that in mind, always build, always, expand what you have learned and add on to it. So yeah, this is always going to be a huge question, especially with electrical engineering specifically, or electronic engineering, anything along those lines. In most cases, the first question that a recruiter will typically ask is, what type of projects have you done? What exactly have you created or made? And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help my channel when it comes down to the YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any questions regarding anything, just hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on the gram at DreThePlug123. And then also go check out my other YouTube channel. This is actually my second channel. My first one was called Andre Classic Cuts. I basically go in and give tutorials about all types of different haircuts. I actually show people how to do different type of things with the clippers that has never been done, and I pretty much go into detail as to why certain things happen. So definitely go check out that channel. Besides that, be on the lookout for my next content that's dropping. Be on the lookout for it because it's coming real soon. And I'm out.